Well, hello, it's Steve, and today we're going to spend a day in the workshop. My plans changed today, so today we're going to be out here and we're going to build a log bench. So welcome aboard. I'll show you how to build a log bench. Okay, there's the legs for the bench. Get those sanded up here in a few minutes. I gotta cut some more pieces and we'll keep going. Okay, that's the bulk of the frame of it. So we'll go ahead and get this set up and we'll start doing some sanding. So this is what it looks like after it's been sanded. See, it's pretty smooth. Takes all the imperfections out, smooths off the knots, Makes everything really user-friendly. So I'm gonna get back to sanding, because I got a lot of sanding to do. Bulk of the sanding is done for the frame. I gotta round the ends of the posts off and then drill a bunch of holes, and then we'll start dry assembling everything so we can measure the spindles that are gonna go in it. And I'll take you along for that process. You might ask why I'm building a log bench. Well, I donated this bench to a car show that the Alaska Arctic air-cooled Volkswagen is having at this coming weekend, and I'll be there. So I donated this so they could raffle it or whatever they want to do with it, make it a gift or whatever. So I'll get it finished up today, so it'll be ready to go, and then I'll show you probably the raffle or whatever they're going to do with it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. How long have I been building log furniture? I started in 2004. That's when I started building log furniture, and it's been I did it for a full-time job for a little while, and then yeah, I found that I work a lot longer hours when I work for myself, like 16 to 20 hour days. So now it's just a hobby. It gives me something to do, keeps me out of trouble, gives me, you know, some fun in the shop. And I still donate a lot of benches. I've probably donated at this point somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 benches over the years. But I still enjoy building them. They're challenging, but they're still pretty quick to build. I could usually build one in about a half a day. So that's the plan for today, is about a half a day to get it built. Another several hours of finish work to put finish on. But yeah, that's basically the gist of it. And a lot of the times, like these benches, I can use scrap wood, so I don't have to use big long 8-foot pieces all the time. I've got a big stack over there that'll probably end up being bench legs and stuff like that. But big thanks to my son Justin. He As you can see over there, there's a big pile of shavings. We took a big bag out over here already. He's the one that peeled all the logs for this. I have a hard time. I had a reconstructive surgery done on my shoulder back when I was in the military, and I've had two shoulder surgeries since. So my shoulder's not so good. I can't really operate a draw knife anymore, or at least not very well. And when I do, I usually pay for it for a week or two. So I try to let him, he's a lot younger, stronger, let him do a lot of the draw knife work. So big thanks to him. And I gotta get to sanding, so I'll take you over there and we'll start sanding. Nice and rounded over. Part of the fun of sanding all this stuff is you get all this dust all over you, and then you wipe it in your eyes. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Currently enjoying an eye full of dust. Minor setback. Apparently I forgot some measurements here, so those two pieces right there, I cut a little too short. I don't care how many times I cut them, they're still too short. So yeah, I misread my old plans. So I gotta cut two more front legs. Those will still get used. I will use those on a swing that I'm getting ready to build. So yeah, so if you see some pieces change, that's the reason, because I can't apparently measure or something. So let me cut those out, I'll get them sanded, and then we'll pick up where we left off. Okay, I fixed my minor mistakes. I wish I had $1 for every time I mismeasured something and turned it into campfire wood, because I'd be an independent millionaire at this point. But like I said, I'll be able to use those other pieces, so no big deal. About 15 extra minutes of abuse there. I hate to say it, but I think my drill's dying finally. I've had that drill since 2014. I don't know, I've built a lot of furniture with that drill, but I think I finally killed it. Probably should pay attention to what I'm doing here. That's that one. This way. Pretty sure this drill's done. So those drills, I've been running lag bolts in with that drill, so it doesn't like long lag bolts, especially not big ones. And I think I finally fried the brushes. Nice part, I've had this drill just as long. But it still drills. That's definitely quicker. So when we go to Home Depot later, we'll get another drill. Now you get to watch the process. Yeah, wrist still not real happy. Currently I did a pretty good number out on a wrecked mountain bike a couple weeks ago, so it's letting me know I'm alive quite frequently, which I'm okay if I just quit. I'll show you what I'm doing next. So, the next step is I gotta measure for the spindles that'll go in here. Okay, the part you didn't see, I'll explain it just so you know, is the reason I'm drawing on the side is when I laid this down, I turned these. So my drill won't fit between them, and it's just easier to drill them when they're laying down. So that's why it's looking like it currently is. time for every time this drill has drilled a hole like that, I'd probably have a couple $1,000s. I know that drill's put some work in. The big drill has too, but this one definitely has put in some work. No harm, no foul. Now we gotta make the spindles, so I won't bore you with that. It looks just like everything else we've done. I'll show you the finished product though. Okay, you're back. I'm getting ready to start gluing stuff together, so that's what we're up to. Nice shot. Missed that one completely. Okay, and here's the easy way to put them together. And there it is. A little too much glue in that one, it looks like. Spit some glue. The one where it leaked, I missed. Anyhow, that is one side of the bench. I'm gonna drill some holes. We'll put the other side together real quick. It's always good to adjust it while the glue's still wet. Rinse and repeat. I'll do the same thing on this side. So there's no need to show you the entire process. Just gotta make sure you put it back together the way you take it apart. So I'll get this one glued up and I'll bring you back. Okay, time to drill for the cross stuff. And if you're wondering, I already marked this, so I already know where to drill. Not just winging it. There's a mark right there. So I'll just put the drill bit on there. Tap, get it started, drill away. What I'm going to do is I'll set this one on the floor. There. And I know I have to drill the opposite side. Because when you don't drill the opposite side, you get to make two of these, which I've done many times because I wasn't paying attention and drilled the wrong side. So we're trying to avoid having to make another entire bench. Gotta take a break, my daughter's calling. All right, we're back. Got my daughter taken care of, so. You might be wondering why I drilled that hole there and not here. Well, if I put the hole here, it allows the back to be slightly angled, so it's more comfortable to sit in. That's why I did that. Now we'll cheat. So this is the back piece. Now I want it that way. Turn that so you can get a better view. Now it's starting to look like a bench. So I'll show you what we got here. So what I'm gonna do, and the reason I didn't put the front leg in or anything like that is I'm gonna measure out all the spindles and I'll drill those while it's sitting like this. It's a lot easier to drill when it's all put together because then the spindles will be straight. How did I learn to build log furniture? Well, that's a story in itself, but it's a pretty easy story, honestly. I'd look in magazines because YouTube wasn't really a thing when I started building furniture or at least it wasn't a thing for me. But what I would do is I would look at pictures of other people's furniture, and then I would figure out how to build it myself. So I'm 100% self-taught. There's nobody taught me how to do any of this. I just figured it out over years. And lots of campfires. I used to put entire pieces of furniture right in the campfire if it didn't turn out the way I wanted it. So lots and lots and lots and lots of practice. And you'll notice I put all the cracks so they're kind of hidden. Spruce cracks, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. It's gonna crack regardless. So you just try to minimize where you put the cracks, and that way they're kind of facing away. If you look at this from the front, there aren't that many cracks that are real visible. Just normal check marks. Wow, that lens is dirty. Hopefully it's there. Hopefully that's a little better. Anyhow, I'm gonna get back to drawing some lines here. I'll let you watch. Double check my work, make sure it's good. Life is good. Now it's time to drill some holes. We're gonna have to change the bit size. Otherwise I'm gonna be doing a whole bunch of extra work. This is upside down, just FYI, this rail. I turned it upside down. It's easier to drill vertically than when you're leaning in upside down. Look at that, just has the stuffy screws holding the wood here. Same thing on the bottom. So I angled the back of the drill to match up here, so that way the spindles will go in. Okay, holes are drilled. Now, let's see if I can turn this. See how I hit the crack at the bottom? That off earlier. Okay, and if you're wondering, future campfires. That's what I do with my scrap. I turn those all into campfires and bring you guys along. Okay. Yep, those are all tenoned. Now we gotta sand. And then once we get that sanded, we gotta glue. So I'll put this down for a few, I'll get the sanding done, and then I'll bring you back. Now I'll show you how to put the spindles in. That's the fun part. Hopefully that's not too dusty. That's the one thing when you're sanding all the time, as you can see, everything gets dusty. And my minor adjustment tool, when I need to make minor adjustments, I use that. Which right now I need to make some adjustments. Adjustments made. So now it's ready to, I gotta glue those, and we gotta do some quick work because the parts I'm gonna do next, I don't have to do what I'm about to do, but I'm gonna do it this way because I've always done it this way and it just seems to be easier for me. But what I'll do is I'll put glue in those back holes, I'll put the back in, then we gotta do some measuring and some drilling and some fun stuff, so I'll show you. The fun part. Now we get to see if I can measure. If I can't, then we get to do some more adjustments. Minor adjustment. Just minor. There's that one. And I did put the glue in the hoods, so there is glue. Lined up perfect. So what I'm not doing is I'm not driving this all the way together. And the reason why, I still gotta put some center supports in. And I don't know how long they are yet because I haven't measured. But I found that this is the easiest way to drill this straight. So what I'm about to do, I will show you. So I'm basically going to do the same thing on this single log. Pencil in my pocket. So the reason I don't drill, or I don't glue it this one yet, is just because I've got to slip it in and out here a couple times. And I found once you glue it, they start sticking, so. And now I don't know how long to make the center supports. Or I will. Retrieve my tape measure. Why I keep my scraps. We'll check. Okay, I'm gonna shut you off because I'm gonna sand for a second and then we'll bring it back. Okay, the pieces are sanded. Got one minor detail. Okay, now we glue everything up. Be done with the glue. Back does not enjoy this. Okay, now the fun part. Those in the holes. And I don't glue these. They need to be able to turn a little bit. But I do have to put them in here. Now we can put it all the way together. So center home. Adjustments, life is good. Okay, here we are. So what we've done here is we've made these so we can bolt the base down onto it, which I will measure that here in a second. So the bench is pretty much done. I still need to build the bases to sit on. I don't bolt those on until after the finish work is finished. That way it's easier to just to get around everything right now without the base in there. But I will cut them out and I'll show you what it looks like. And then I've got a couple of hours of finish work ahead, which I'm not gonna do tonight. I'm just gonna let this dry overnight and do its thing. But this bench is almost done and it'll go to a good cause. Okay, that's all of the pieces for the bench right there. That's what she's gonna look like, except now it'll get a more of a kind of a golden color when I put the finish on, but that'll be a tomorrow project. So now we're gonna go take a shower because as you can see, I'm a mess. So I'm gonna head over to Drew's house and grab a quick shower and get out of there. He's at work, so no reason to hang out, and I'm gonna go find somewhere to spend the night. Let me get you caught up on the bench. It's been a little hectic around here the last couple days, so I didn't really do any filming. But the bench is finished. It's completely done. I put a couple coats of finish on it. So it is ready to go to the car show. That's what it turned out looking like. And as you can tell, my son came over and he wanted to build some furniture, so we've been building beds. He peeled all these logs. He actually built almost this entire bed by himself. I just kind of did some sanding and guidance. But he's making nice furniture now. Turns out really nice. I gotta run to Home Depot and get some 2x3s that go across in here to hold the box spring and mattresses. But other than that, this is what I've been up to. Got a big old mess in here. You see my son makes big messes too. Burned up a drill, so I had to go get a new drill. Yeah, it's been a busy few days. I figured I'd catch you up anyhow before I head out for the day.